It's Thursday, and we're on Melrose Mountain in Tryon, North Carolina at higher ground. And we're in Mark chapter 9, verse 14. Ever heard a program say, "Don't try this at home"? That's what I was thinking about when I did today's devotion. You see, Jesus has just come down off the Mount of Transfiguration. He had left behind most of his disciples, and their large crowd had gathered around them. When they came down, they found the scribes kind of arguing with his disciples, and the argument was over, I guess, the failure that they had to drive out a demon in a young man, a young boy. And so Jesus comes down from the mountain, and the crowd gathers over to him. The story is told also in Matthew chapter 17 and Luke chapter 9. And as the crowd gathers around Jesus, the father of this boy beseeches Jesus to heal his son, telling him that his disciples had failed to take the demon out. If you look at the other accounts of this particular story, you'll find that the father tells Jesus that he's just a young boy, and tells him that not only does this demon throw his son to the ground and make him mute, but that he has thrown him into water and fire in the past, that he foams at the mouth, that he stiffens up, that he grinds his teeth, and that his disciples had been unsuccessful in casting out the demon. That's obviously caused this discussion between the scribes and the other disciples. As Jesus is dealing with this situation, it's quite interesting because he rebukes, in general, the lack of faith that's involved here, and the generation of not believing. And the father asks him, "If you can do anything, please take pity and help us." And that seems to hit a nerve with Jesus after all that he's done in the past, and with the particular healings that he's already done. And he says, if all things are possible to him who believes. Now, it's very easy to take scripture out of context. And there are a lot of theologians that have built a doctrine around if you just have enough faith, you can do anything. But I believe that you need to take that in context. If it's God's will, anything is possible for those who believe. But not everything is God's will. And so Jesus is dealing more specifically with this particular situation. And he, of course, calls out this demon possession that is in this young boy. And the boy lays there as if he's a corpse. And many of the crowd think that he's dead, that once the demon came out, that left the child dead. And Jesus takes him by the hand and raises him up, and immediately the boy is normal. And Jesus rebukes it not only to come out of the boy, but to never enter into him again. And after Jesus leaves the scene, his disciples come to him privately, and they say, "Why couldn't we cast out this demon?" That would be a natural question, wouldn't it be, if you were rebuked for your lack of faith and for the fact that that Jesus was able to heal this young boy? And he says, if you look at all three accounts in Mark, Matthew, and Luke, he says this kind comes out only by prayer. And if you look at the other accounts, by prayer and fasting. And Jesus also in Matthew tells them, "For the littleness of your faith." And again, a lot of doctrine has been built around statements like that, saying that people don't get healed because people don't have enough faith. Well, I don't believe that's usually the case. I believe that people don't get healed because it's not God's will for them to get healed, but not because of the lack of faith. I've seen many good Christians who have lots of faith ask God to heal, and God doesn't heal. I don't believe he always does heal. When he left this earth, he said, "It is finished." What was finished? Well, what he was sent for was finished. There were lots of dead people that could be raised from the dead. There were lots of sick people that still needed a healing, lots of lame people, blind people, and yet Jesus didn't heal everybody before he left, yet he said it's finished. The greatest miracle is the resurrection of the dead, not in the healing. And so we find very clearly that Jesus' rebuke here is not a rebuke that everything that we desire to have happen, whether it's raise somebody from the dead or to heal them, comes because of enough faith. But he does say if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And I think that's your thought for the day. If it's God's will, you don't need an incredible amount of faith. If it's God's will, God can move mountains for you. You just got to trust that if it's not done, it's not God's will, and he has something else to teach you in and through the situation. So have faith, my friends. Faith of a mustard seed will move mountains if it's God's will. It's not the amount of faith. It's your faith in who it's in and whether or not it's his will. That's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.